morning, everybody. My name is Caleb Plitos. Have you ever wondered what is it like to drive a 2005 to 2009 Mustang GT? What's the interior look like? Is it good or bad? How's the engine? Is the 4.6 good, or should you go for the 5.0? Will I ever get an overdue haircut? Find out the answer to most of those in this video. So this behind me is a 2005 Mustang GT Premium with the convertible top. Now this specific Mustang has been mine for a few years and it's got a few things done to it, and I will point those out as we go along. But in this video, I wanted to go from bumper to bumper and explain everything about the car, give it a nice in-depth detailed review, and then I'll tell you if I think it was worth it to buy and if I think you should look at getting one. Starting in the front of the vehicle, the first real big thing that jumps out to you are these aftermarket halos right here. And these are complemented by the aftermarket headlights, which you can see also have a small halo and light bar in there. These are the smoked option of the headlights. I purchased these from AmericanMuscle.com. The front of this car is also complemented by this California Special front bumper. This is not a California Special model, but I do have the bumper on there. I think it looks much better than the GT option. Since we're in the front of the vehicle, this is a great opportunity to take a look at what's under the hood. Right here, we have a 4.6 liter V8 engine. This specific engine is complemented by a Roush intake and a set of BBK long tube headers, complete with the full exhaust. Moving along to the side profile of the car here, you can see that we have some aftermarket wheels. These are 20-inch rims, complete with Nitto tires to really get a nice, good performance in the summertime. This vehicle does have a staggered setup, so what that means is that the front tires are smaller than the back tires. The rear tires have a width of 275 millimeters and the front are 255 millimeters. Not a huge difference, but I do think it gives it a good all-around look on the car and give it that aggressive tone that I think a muscle car should have. Moving along to my absolute favorite part of the car, the rear. We have this rear ducktail spoiler, which gives the car a nice upward tone and really follows the body lines well, in my opinion. This is also not stock. This portion replaced the GT wing, which looks something like this. These taillights right here do have a tint on them, gives them a little more of a smoky style look. And they are also sequential taillights. Now, they are not stock sequential. Originally, the Mustang back taillights just brake like any other car would, but a few of the newer models, I believe 2010 and up, had a sequential where the first brake light would go on, and then the second, and then the third. Now, this does have an aftermarket sequential taillight system on it, so it looks something like this. Probably the coolest way you can turn on your turn signal. We can also see here that this car has Flowmaster axle backs on the back. These are a great, well-rated system. These axle backs really gave me a muscle car sound that I wasn't disappointed with. Now, before we go into the interior of the vehicle, I wanted to talk about the convertible top. Probably my least favorite portion about the vehicle. This convertible top just really isn't crazy durable, and as you can see, it's got a few tears and a few portions where the back window is just coming apart. And I've also had an issue with it leaking into the interior. After resealing the window a few times, I still haven't been able to get it fixed, and a replacement top is not very cheap. If I were to buy this car again, I probably would not go for the convertible top, just because I live in Michigan and it's really not too practical and I don't get to use it as I should. Moving along to the interior of the vehicle, it's pretty simple, but definitely a step up from the 2004 model, which the interior was lacking a little bit in my opinion. Now, from a driver's viewpoint, you have this nice looking steering wheel here with this steel looking alloy look to it, but As you can see here, you do have the 4 gauges. It's going to tell you your RPMs, your gas, your temperature, and how fast you're going. The only thing I don't like about this gauge cluster is the color. I'd really prefer more of a blue or maybe even a red opposed to this green, which goes down into every portion of the interior. If you can see here, these are all lit with that green color. The climate control vents look very nice in my opinion. They're finished with this chrome style looking plastic, and I mean, they function pretty well. It's a vent, there's not much to it. Moving along to the center here, this right here, this portion is an aftermarket system, so the original shaker system will not look like this. But up here you can see there's a few blank buttons. The later years, in the 2007 I believe and up, those were moved onto right here, and I believe one over here too. These were your heated seats. This car, the 2005, does not have heated seats. And this these two here, they were your reset and info for some additional gauges that were in the gauge cluster up here. The GT Premium actually does have a great sound system. Both of the doors have subwoofers in them. The Shaker 500 is the name of the sound system, which comes in the Premium, and I really like it. I'm not a huge sound system guy, but it's definitely nice to have a good sounding system when you're listening to music cruising around. Last but not least, this Mustang has some pretty basic but very nice looking seats. I believe that the leather really pulls the interior all together. I definitely wouldn't recommend getting a Mustang with a cloth seating. I think that it just gives the car a much cleaner and overall better look and feel when you're sitting in it. If you have cloth seating, after a while of sitting in them, maybe you spill something on them, they're not easy to clean, they start to smell after a while. Upgrading to leather seats is not exactly a crazy price tag, so I definitely think it's one of the things that are most worth it. Moving along to the speed aspect of this vehicle, it's not fast, but it's quick. The 4.6 definitely lags opposed to its 5.0 counterpart in the Mustang. Unfortunately, I would say one of the biggest drawbacks of the 2005 to 2009 is that it did not come with a 5.0 option, just the 4.0 V6 and the 4.6 V8. Stock, I think that this car is kind of sluggish for what it is, but I believe that because of the fact that the Mustang is so popular, the customizability and so many different things that you can do to make this car faster, the plethora of parts that are on the market, you can definitely put maybe 1, 2, or even 3 grand into this car and it'll completely change the way that it drives. Now, if you were looking at purchasing this car yourself, I would definitely say that it's a good car for the price. The 2005 to 2009 was kind of a newer revolutionary style. They moved away from that Terminator body style and it kind of bulked up and gave it that more of a muscle car look that it had back in the day. I think that it's a great car for the price. You get a pretty solid looking interior for the price. You get a nice overall looking car. It's very easy to customize and add different parts, make it faster, make it sound exactly like you like, and do whatever you really want to it. Now, if you want to see how fast this car really is, I do have a 0 to 60 video that I will drop the link to below. But that's going to be all for this video, guys. I really appreciate you checking this out. Please hit that subscribe button. I cannot express how much that means to me, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.